Hi, this is Dr. Jacques Despitri from Soho MD. I'm here with the Bullpen at the Golden Gate Yacht Club, and we're here today to start off this event talking with Michele Colucci from Digital DX. Michele?
Thank you.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you started your fund?
All right. So Digital DX is an investor in early stage AI and data-enabled diagnostics. We're in Silicon Valley. We are actually on raising our second fund now. We started the fund in about 2018. It was originally a strategy that my former mentor executed, Ted Driscoll. He was the first investor in Natera, GeneWeave, AssureX, and I had sent him one of those companies, and along with others, and he had invested in my startup at the time and said, "What are you doing in that startup? You should be investing in this area. You understand this. You know the people. You're bringing me tremendous deal flow. You should consider starting a fund, and if you do, I'll back you and we'll start it. I'll be retiring at some point soon, but I think this is a really important area." So I sat down, I thought about it a lot. I went to a couple of my friends. I had two of my very closest friends died from late diagnostics. So I felt that it was aligned with what was important to me. And I went to another one of my close friends and I said, okay, I'm thinking of doing this, who was also an investor in my previous company. I think I'm doing it. Am I crazy? He said, not only are you not crazy, but look, I'll give you your first check. And then that's how we started. And we actually had a first close about 4 months before COVID. So the timing wasn't great in terms of trying to move that fund forward. But we did spend a lot of time building our team and our entrepreneur and expert in residence network, which includes some of the most sophisticated voices in diagnostics, regulatory, reimbursement, AI, technology, data. Very excited to be here and excited to be at JP Morgan again. Was here before the pandemic, was here online during the pandemic, and now the second year after the pandemic, and it's always such a great event, and excited to be here at the Bullpen that Christian has created, and it's a wonderful community. Our focus is really trying to identify opportunities all over the world. We are based in Silicon Valley, in Menlo Park, but we like and we believe that great ideas come from everywhere, and they all need to be supported, and we have a very specific deep bench to support AI diagnostic-based companies. So that's a little bit about the background of our fund.
Yeah, that's a great background. What have you found that what are the key factors that you look for in the companies you invest in now?
So our focus is really on earlier, less invasive, more accurate, and more accessible diagnostics. Most of them are superpowered by technology in some way. That could be in the data aggregation piece. That could be in the application of signal through machine learning, random forest. That could be in predictive or different kinds of analytical processes. That could be in chemistry to tease out signals. So we really invest at the intersection of technology, biology, chemistry. We would like to see that you have a data set that's a decent size with results of sensitivity and specificity in the 90th percentile. We believe that if it's not that accurate, doctors won't change the way they currently test people. So in order to change behavior, which is what we have to do in a lot of these cases, the test has to just be a clear outlier. We have to look at it, and in our diligence process, we determine whether we think that those results are scalable or not. That's a big part, because you see so many papers being published on PubMed and all over the place, and these amazing results, but about 90-something% of them are not easily replicated in larger data sets. So that's an important piece for us as well.
Awesome. And what are you excited about this coming year in terms of the companies that you've invested in already?
Yeah. The use of technology is expanding in ways that we did not previously, or most people did not previously imagine. It could. I think this vertical, the diagnostic vertical, is taking off, whereas before it was, you took 20 years to get data, to get the samples. Here, in a matter of minutes, you can put something through an algorithm, and you can sample billions of data points to get insights that you wouldn't have otherwise been able to get. You also have CRISPR technology that has changed the way in which we think about being able to do things. You have just obviously generative AI. My partner, David Kirk, was chief scientist architect at NVIDIA, so really created all that IP underlying generative AI, which is hugely impactful, and you're only limited really by your imagination in terms of what you can do with a lot of that. The digital health solutions had a hard time initially finding markets, but now we're finding the end-to-end solutions are really needed in the hospitals, in the communities. Our focus on non-invasive is really because we want to be able to have people test in the home. So you can spit in a test tube, pee in a cup, send it in, and get results. It's really important. A lot of people don't have access to healthcare systems, and they're in locations which are remote. So the whole telehealth, obviously, area is exciting. I think immunochemistry is really interesting. We think RNA proteomics has really started to move the needle in a lot of ways and has been a really good subject for technology and AI. So I'm excited about all those things. I'm also really excited about the diversity amongst founders, cultural, gender diversity, all that. I think we really are finding the great ideas are coming from a lot of areas. And women's health is another very important area that has been really ignored for so long. You know, if you look at all the research that's been done, it's been done in male mice.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so those are areas I think we're excited about seeing change.
You mentioned that there were two friends who had suffered before. What do you think the solutions that you're finding now, how would it have impacted them back then? And how do you hope that it will impact patients in the future?
So one of my friends had she found out stage 4 liver cancer before she identified it, because a lot of these illnesses are asymptomatic or pre-symptomatic, or simply the doctor gets it wrong. The other friend had breast cancer twice and got leukemia from the treatment. She should have never had a recurrence. And she should have had an earlier identification because she did the test, mammogram, and it showed that she didn't have breast cancer. Well, there's a lot of other tests we're involved with that can actually show, because mammograms are only, 40% of the people they don't work for, women with dense breast, and they're only accurate 70-something% of the time. So there has to be better solutions that we create for these different disease types. And I think that now there's a lot of other opportunities and protocols that exist that would have prevented A, the late diagnostic, and B, the inaccurate one.
Wow. And do you see these as moonshots, like these are things far in the future, or do you think these are tangible things that we'll see in the near future with what your teams are working on?
Yeah, so the companies that we invest in are we don't invest in companies that are moonshots. That's not our MO. Our MO is you have a sample size that's a certain size, and you have sensitivity, specificity in a certain area. And so we really are looking very scientifically at not only does this work and can it scale, but what's the path to revenue generation? That's been a big theme amongst venture funds this year and last year is how close to revenue is it? Is it 6 months away? Is it 3 years away? People aren't touching the 3 years away, but the 6 months they're jumping on. So in one of my companies, we have a saliva test for breast cancer, which was still 2-3 years away. So we merged it into another company that had products that were 6 months away.
Wow,
and
smart.
Together they not only have the early revenue opportunity, but they have the hockey stick of the very exciting opportunity in breast cancer. So I think being able to think about how these companies can work together, how you can get to market, how you can piggyback off other kinds of approvals, expand those during commenting phases, how you can get to market more effectively, efficiently, and thoughtfully is a whole deep strategy. And that's sometimes something we spend a lot of time with the experts in our group deciding for each company. And it makes a huge difference. One comment can save you 6 months,
Absolutely.
which can be $1 million. So, being able to do that efficiently, effectively is critical, and that's what we focus most on.
That's awesome. And what's your ask of the Bullpen, this community? How could it help you achieve the goals that you have for digital DX?
Well, I love what Christian's built in the bullpen. I think it's amazing. I love that he brings companies from all over here because I try and travel all over, but I think it's important that that when you have a conference like JP Morgan, that people really, are able to be part of it and be engaged in it and meet the people, meet the players. It's important. So for me, there's two ways that we engage. We, number one, look at companies. And so I always try and tell Christian, you have a diagnostic company, send them over. And then we have our own relationships as a fund that we like to create with large strategic investors or large medical companies, players that would either acquire our companies or invest in our fund. So it's always been and always has been a two-way street. And I think that's what's lovely about this is it's a very collaborative group. And everybody is trying to be of service to each other, which is critical for success of all of our solutions getting to patients, which is where at the end of the day it matters the most.
Absolutely. And if people want to learn more about your company, your fund, is there a website they should go to?
Yes, digitaldxventures.com is the website, and Christian can also put you in touch with me.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.